Greeting. Following is the English translation of the Q&A on October 20th, 2021. So these are the questions from the yogi at the Hương Đạo Temple to the Venerable Khippapañño. Question number 1. Dear Bhante, I'm sorry, the word Bhante is a Pali word. It is the same as venerable. It is a Pali word. Okay, question number 1. Dear Bhante, when I meditated in Burma, the meditation teachers told me to pay attention to the special characteristics of the objects. For example, in the rising and falling of the abdomen, I should observe the movement and nothing else. For walking, I just pay attention to the heaviness, lightness, touching, warmth, cool, vibration, intention, etc. The teachers would like me to practice more in order to see the arising and passing away of the phenomena. But I get stuck here. Please guide me to move on from here. The Venerable Khippapañño would like to comment right here. With the objects that we observe during the insight meditation, there are two types of characteristics. One is called the special characteristics of individual objects. For example, for the rising and falling, the individual characteristic of the air element is motion, vibration, tension, and there is nothing else. When the yogi does the walking meditation, when he moves, there is movement. So that is the special characteristic of the air element. When he lifts up the foot, he feels lightness. When he lowers the foot, he feels heaviness. And that is the special characteristic. And when the foot touches the ground, he will feel coolness or warmthness. So the coolness and the warmthness are the characteristics of the fire element. And when he walks, he notices that there must be the intention to walk. Then walking will occur. There is the intention of lifting the foot, then the foot is lifted. So he notices that with the activity, there is the intention, that is the mind, and there is the walking, that is the physical aspect. Continuing the practice, he will notice that whatever that he observes, it arises and then it is gone. For example, with the rising in the abdomen, it is there, then it is gone. For the falling, it appears and then it is gone. For the walking, there is the lifting. Lifting is present, it arises and then it stops. With the moving forward, there is the moving forward and then it just disappears. When he lowers the foot, there is the lowering part and then it stops. So for everything that the yogi observes, it arises and then it just stops. And it is the same with the thought, the wandering mind. The wandering mind arises and then it just stops. So if the yogi pays attention to hardness, softness, the hardness is there and then it's gone. Softness is there, then it's gone. Coolness is there and then it is gone. So whatever that he observes, it arises and then it is gone. For all of the objects of the body, the objects of the mind. That means all of these objects have one common characteristic, that is arising and passing away, and that is called impermanence. In our lives, when we notice the season, we have all different seasons. There is no one constant weather. The spring, it comes, it goes. Winter, summer comes and goes. Fall comes and goes. The winter comes and goes. For our lives, we were born, then we get old, we get sick, and then we die. So everything there is a beginning and an end. So as a yogi, we notice that there is the individual characteristic of different element, and there is a the common characteristics of all of the objects. So there are two kind of characteristics, individual characteristics of various elements, like fire element, earth element, water element, and the wind elements. They have different individual characteristics, and they also have a common characteristics, which is arising and passing away. The Bhante gives the example. For example, in Washington, D.C., we have all different nationalities. We have the Chinese, the Vietnamese, the American, the Thai. So different nationalities, but everyone experiences the same season of snow. Everyone experiences the snow. So different nationalities, different individuals is the same as different characteristics. But everyone experiences the same snow. They all experience snow. So they all have the same characteristic of arising and passing away. And the teacher in Burmese would like this yogi to pay more attention to pay more attention, to have more awareness in order to see the common characteristic of arising and passing away of everything. So that is the comment for the introduction of this question. First part of the question is, during the walking meditation, the objects are gross, so I can easily aware of it. But in the sitting meditation, the rising and falling in the abdomen are more subtle and hard to catch. Sometimes the movements appear here and there, fast and slow, clear or not clear, and they change constantly. The objects change very fast, so I cannot mentally label them, but just mentally aware of it. Am I doing it correctly? And the teacher answer is, yes, it is correct. You are doing it correctly. When you mentally label or you aware of it, they are all mindfulness, because you have to know things with the mind. And the characteristic of the mind is simply cognizing. When a person recite the word arahant, arahant, as soon as you recite the word, you will instantly understand the meaning. So when a person has awareness or has mindfulness, that means the mind already knows it has the cognizing part in it. So the awareing or the mindfulness is always accompanied with the cognizing aspect. Mentally labeled is mindfulness, and mindfulness is simply aware of the object. When and then this yogi comments some more. When my mind is more concentrated, then the objects are clearer and slower. The wandering minds are less and less also. The teacher comments is that is correct. When there is concentration, then the object will appear clearer and you will have less mindfulness. So, for this yogi, your practice is correct. Please maintain your awareness, then your concentration will develop. Continue with the practice. You are doing a good job. Question number 2. Dear Bante, when I sit, after some time, I cannot sense the body. Everything is empty. It seems like there is no barrier between the inside and outside. When there is a breeze, I know it. I will repeat this question. Dear Bante, when I sit after some time, I cannot sense the body. Everything is empty. It seems like there is no barrier between the inside and the outside. However, when there is a breeze, I know it. I do not understand this experience. Please explain and please guide me with the practice. Thank you, Bante. The teacher answer for this question is the Buddha told us that there is no I. When you sit for some time, then everything disappears. That means your concentration is good. So you have no sense of the body. But when there is a breeze, the mind is still aware of it. At first, the body, at first, one is attached to this physical form of the body. So we feel that uh, there is this form of a person sitting. But when the concentration is strong, there is not much a wandering mind. Then the sense of the physical form will disappear. However, the awareness is still there. Therefore, when there is a breeze, the mind knows, the mind is aware of it. When the yogi meditates, he will, when the yogi meditates, there are four main elements that he would know or would aware of. For example, with the air, the four main elements are the air element, fire element, earth element, and water element. And the yogi also realized that there is the mind that awares of everything. The characteristic of the mind is Cognizing, simply cognizing. The characteristic of the element are, for the wind element, that is the movement. For the fire element, that is warmness and coolness. And for the mind, the characteristic is simply cognizing. For a person who is practicing the four foundations of mindfulness, practicing vipassana, at first he is aware of the concept, like the um, shape of the body, but gradually he will let go of the concept, and he only aware of the absolute truth, that is only heaviness, lightness, hot and cold, etc. There is the yogi will let go of the concept. So for this yogi, you are practicing correct. So please continue with your practice. Just be aware of various sensation in the body, like hotness, softness, vibration, movement, warmth, cool, and if you can aware of the intention or the awaring, please do so. So please continue with your practice. You are doing well. Question number 3. In the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, the Buddha always reminded us to look inward, to pay attention to this mind and body. However, it seems like we always forget, and the mind is always outside. The mind is always looking outside. Is it because we are under the illusion and wanting to find something more noble and supernatural that we forget to look for it inside ourselves? I am offering the teacher and the Dharma friends this poem. And the summary of the poem is: when the mind is calm, arising greed or aversion is seen right away. When living fully in the present, no need to ask where meditation is. The teacher comment for this is sadhu sadhu for the poem, and the teachers say that is what meditation is. Meditation is very simple, so simple. When the mind has perception, then it is not real. Then it makes the mind not in the present. And when the yogi cannot see the mind and the body as is, then he will continue to travel in the cycle of samsara, from the sensual realm to the material realm to the immaterial realm. He will continue to travel in the cycle of rebirth as long as he cannot see the mind and the body clearly. Question number 4. Dear Bhante, there are many places that teach meditation with the teacher guides us out loud the instructions. Then the students will follow. Is this way of teaching correct? Is it the same way as you would teach? Please instruct us. Thank you, Bante. The answer for this question is when a person does yoga, the teacher will guide. For example, raise your arm up. Then everyone will raise up their arm. When we practice yoga, we will help to strengthen the body and help the mind to be calm. When we when we exercise the body, then the body will be strong. When we exercise the mind, then the mind will be strong. If we only exercise the body, then the mind cannot be strong. A way to strengthen the mind is to practice the insight meditation or vipassana meditation. When we believe in the enlightenment of the Buddha, we believe that he found the path, he was enlightened, and he showed us the way to become enlightened. When we believed in that, then we will practice whatever he taught us. Then we will practice to purify our body and to purify our speech, and then to purify our mind. When the mind is purified, it becomes calm, concentration will arise. When there is concentration in the mind becomes strong. With concentration, there are two types of concentration: a wrong concentration and the right concentration. Right concentration will lead us to liberation, will help us to get out of suffering. If we exercise the body, it will help us to be strong, but only in this lifetime. So we need to help our mind to be strong. We need to practice to strengthen the mind through the insight meditation. When we practice meditation, we help we help the mind to decrease attachment, greed, aversion, anger, jealousy, impermanent, jealousy, depression, tension. When the mind is strong, we will have less of those defilements. When the mind has less defilements, it means the mind is strong. It has power. When we practice meditation, we will notice that we have less attachment, less aversion, more understanding. So that means we make progress. That means we make progress. When we compare ourselves, we notice that now we are better than before. We have less defilements. Our mind is stronger. When we see that, our faith increases. We will notice that the faith increases. We will make effort more because we see there is result. So we will automatically have effort. Our confidence in the practice increases, the effort increases, mindfulness, awareness is getting easier, the mind is calmer, It has more concentration, it wanders less, and it understands more. It has more wisdom. When we practice yoga or qigong, it only helps us 50%. So we need to strengthen the mind through the practice of insight meditation. That way, we can help the mind and the body 100%. And that is the end of the fourth question. Next question, that is question number 5. Dear Bante, thanks to the illness, I understand more about impermanence, unsatisfactory, and no self in a quickest way. When I realize this, I cry a lot from appreciation of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the teacher. I am thankful to those who hate me, and my mind is filled with compassion and love. I am crying as I write these words. From now on, I just need to watch my ego, the dangerous ego. I am asking for your guidance. Thank you very much, Bante, from very far away. The answer for this question is, please continue with your practice in order to experience more and more of changing, unsatisfactory, and no substance. Please experience more of the changing, impermanence, unsatisfactory, and no self, no I, no substance. One day you will not cry anymore because there is no more suffering. There is no more defilement. You will be liberated. Now, when you suffer, you will cry. It is okay. It is normal. You cry because you see suffering. When you see real suffering, from there you will see the cause of suffering. When you see the true cause of suffering, you will let go. You will let go of the sadness, the love, the attachment. So, please continue to enjoy. I am sorry. Please continue to experience until you will not experience the impermanence anymore. Until you will see that there is no self, there is no I that controls anything. At that time, your mind will be very strong. You will not be affected by anything. Your mind will completely let go. You will experience that there is no I, and your mind will be in balance. It will reach equanimity. The body can experience the physical pain, but the mind is at peace. And this is the path that everyone is traveling. So please continue with your practice. Question number 6. Dear Bante, I read that our minds are changing and running around all the time, just like the clouds. We just need to observe the greedy mind, the angry mind, and do not run after them nor react to them. I have a question. In that case, who is watching the mind? Is that another mind? Thank you, Bante. And the teacher answer to this question is, there is only one mind at a time. When you observe, that means you are having awareness and you are walking on the right path. There is no one person who is watching, only the mind that is watching. And the mind that is watching is called mindfulness. You are practicing vipassana meditation, the insight meditation. Awareness, awareness is correct path, the noble eightfold path that the Buddha discovered. And this noble eightfold path has 8 factors in it. When we have the right view, then we will have the right thinking. With the thinking, when we think when we think of wholesome things, we will have wholesome result, or it will bring us happiness. But when we have unwholesome thoughts, the result will be suffering. So the right view and right thinkings are very important. When we have the right view, we will have the right thinking. From then, from right thinking, we can keep the mind, we can keep the body and the speech pure. When we have a wholesome speech, that means we are having right speech. When we are keeping this body clean and pure, then we are practicing right action and right livelihood. Right livelihood means we are refraining from selling poison, selling intoxication things, selling humans, selling animals, and selling poison. When the body and speech are pure, then it is easy for the mind to have concentration. When the mind has concentration, then understanding will arise. And the teacher explained that the first 5 students of the Buddha were the group of the 5 monks, and the leader was the Venerable Kandanya. When this group of 5 monks met the Buddha, right after the Buddha was enlightened, when the Buddha met them, the Buddha gave them a Dhamma talk. The Buddha explained to them that this path, this middle path, is the path that is away from self-indulgence, and it is away from the self-mortification. This is the middle path. This middle path composes of right understanding, right thinking. When having right understanding, right thinking, then the body and speech are also proper and right. When the body and speech are proper and right, then the person can direct the mind to the present. He can aware of the present, aware of the breath, aware of whatever that arises in this mind and body. He is always in the present. So the Buddha is guiding these 5 monks into the practice. And after listening to this Dhamma talk, Venerable Kondanya was enlightened. Then next time, the Venerable Kondanya went for alms round. He collected the food, then offered to the Buddha. Then the Buddha offered the food to the other 4 monks. And then after the meal, the Buddha continued to guide the 4 monks. The Buddha asked these monks, is this body permanent or impermanent? And they all answer, this body, this physical aspect, it is impermanent because the the breath, the air, the movement, the in and out, they are all changing. Therefore, it is impermanent. The teacher makes a comment. During this COVID-19, the sick people needs oxygen in order to breathe. Without oxygen, they will pass away. So the person cannot control of the body. So there is no one who can control it. That means it does not have a self. So the Buddha continues asking the monks, so this body is impermanent. And when it is impermanent, it is unsatisfactory. When it is unsatisfactory, it is impermanent. It also does not have any substance. It has no soul. There is no controller at all. And the Buddha continues, what about the feeling? Is this feeling permanent or impermanent? And the answer is the same. The feeling is impermanent. Whatever is impermanent, it is unsatisfactory. It also has no substance. It has no soul. And the Buddha continues with the perception. Is it permanent or is it impermanent? And the Buddha continues with the mental formation. Is it permanent? Is it impermanent? And Buddha continued to ask for the consciousness, for the mind, for the Dharma. Is it permanent or is it impermanent? And the answers are always the same. It is impermanent. Whenever it is impermanent, it is unsatisfactory. And if it is unsatisfactory, it has no substance, no one to control it. So the whole physical and mental aspects are impermanent, unsatisfactory, and no substance, no soul. And at the end of the Dhamma talk, the other 4 monks became enlightened, and the Venerable Kondanya reached a higher enlightenment. So the teacher, the Venerable, made a comment that we need to practice the we need to practice the insight meditation, the vipassana meditation. We are walking in the Noble Eightfold Path, and there is no I. There is there is no person who controls anything. The mindfulness is this path, is this liberation path. And with this path, we will make effort. We will direct the mind to return to the present object. That means whatever arises, we are aware of it. Whether it is the breath, in breath or out breath, the rising and falling, the walking, the happiness, the rapture, the thinking, whatever that arises, we are aware of it. And with the awareness, wisdom will arise. Therefore, mindfulness is the key. When we have mindfulness, when we develop mindfulness, every wholesome mind will come. It will arise also. Therefore, mindfulness is the key. Therefore, the instruction that the Buddha has for the monk is, go sit underneath the tree and practice mindfulness. Practice mindfulness on the breath and on whatever that arises in this mind and body. So that is the end of the question number 6. Next question, question number 7. Dear Bhante, today during the sitting meditation, I had an unusual experience. The whole body has waves and waves of goosebumps, like a draft of cold air that blows into the body and up to the head. My eyes just watered. Bhante, what is it? Am I practicing correctly? Thank you very much for your guidance. The answer for this question is, there is nothing wrong with your practice. You are practicing very correct. You have the sensation of the goosebump, and you are not attaching to this feeling. You only notice goosebumps, goosebumps, or comfortable, comfortable, or uncomfortable, uncomfortable. When you have mindfulness, it will solve everything. With mindfulness, you will have a right view, right understanding, then right thinking will come. With that, the effort to continue with the practice will increase. You will increase the mindfulness. And you are walking on this path. You are keeping the body and the speech pure. When speech and the body are pure, the mind is calm. When the mind is calm, then understanding will arise. You will the right view, the right understanding will arise. You will notice that whatever you observe, it comes and it goes. So, with the practice, rapture will arise. And rapture will arise only during the practice. There are 5 types of rapture. The first one is called small rapture, like goosebumps. The second rapture is called momentary rapture. With a person who is practicing samatha meditation or concentration meditation. With this type of meditation, the concentration meditation, there is only one object. Therefore, the meditator will try to maintain or to keep this, this rapture in order to increase the concentration more and more. However, for the insight meditation practitioner, he has a lot of different objects, and he does not hold on to any one object at all. Whatever is more prominent at that time, he will aware of it. He has awareness on that object and he will let go. So he just note and then let go. When he does that, he will notice that the rapture, it arises and it passes away. Whatever that arises in the body, he notes. Whatever sensation arises, he will note. Whatever that arises in the mind, happiness, sadness, or thinking, he also note. When he experiences the goosebumps, he also notes and let go. Therefore, he's, therefore he experiences that the goosebumps, it comes and it goes. So the yogi meditates, he makes progresses, he has raptures, but he does not attach to the rapture at all. He is practicing well and he is practicing correctly. So the advice for this yogi is please continue with the practice. With this, the Venerable will end the today Q&A. The Venerable will end the today Q&A. May all be well, happy and peaceful. May all progress on this path to liberation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.